I want to hear about your takeaways from this conversation with the head of Sberbank and the former finance minister. How honest do you think they were being? How candid were they being about the depth of the slowdown in Russia and the challenges that the economy faces?
Actually, yes, they were honest in intention. They honestly intended to talk openly on the problems, though I think that what was missing is the specific set of concrete steps which should be made in order to overcome that situation of crisis which Russia is now sinking deeper and deeper. And actually some of the speakers said that the positive news is that the numbers according to which we judge how deeply Russian economy dropped are better than expected in autumn last year. So this is a relative way to measure success story. And of course what was missing was the lack of information about how to attract investment, which is tending to be zero in Russian economy. And through investment, you can't solve the problem of import substitution, which is now the basic Russian economic strategy. And since we never heard about the import substitution as the economic miracle source, so there are doubts that this time import substitution without investment could bring us to something new. That's why I think that we were a little bit short of touching the real issues.
All right. Konstantin, you're there, of course, with the biggest business leaders in Russia. What is their message to President Putin about the economy? And does President Putin care what they have to say? Does he listen to Russia's influential businessmen?
Russian businessmen like to come here because they want to understand at least 1 year horizon of what the government is going to do. And maybe in the course of the forum, this horizon will become more close or more clear to them. But so far, it is quite unclear what will be the emphasis of Russian economic policy, which stimulus package could help Russian businessmen to invest.
Yeah. And Konstantin, just quickly, what's your assessment of how much damage the sanctions have done to the Russian economy?
Sorry, excuse me, could you ask again?
How much damage do you think the Western sanctions have actually done to the Russian economy? Obviously, the Russian economy is dealing with plenty of its own problems, from the fall in energy prices to runaway inflation. I want to know how much damage you think that Western sanctions have actually done.
Yeah, you know, actually, if we talk about the dimensions of damage, then by the end of 2016, Russian private companies and banks will have to repay $143 billion of debt. And it appeared that about half of that, about $70 billion, Russian companies and banks will have to repay to their own entities, like inside one company or one group of physical persons who control the lender and the borrower. So that means that only about 73 billion remains to be repaid by the end of 1916, which is not a difficult task.
All right.
So there are no problems.
I apologize, but I have to cut you off. We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much, Konstantin Remchukov, the editor-in-chief of the independent newspaper.